we don't always value and appreciate. We kind of take them for granted. It's nice that they did a group. We high-five them. You know, we give them a little pin or we give them 2 free tickets and say thanks. But we could build a much stronger relationship and we could do so much better. I'm a person that if 50 is good to a group, 500 is much better. And if you're telling me you're selling 500, I'll say, that's nice. 5,000 is much better. I'm one that loves to sell groups of 5,000, 2,000, 8,000. So you start out by appreciating the group leader. Make them feel valued and appreciate them. So I don't have a PowerPoint because I have it on a flash drive and forgot to bring it. So shame on me, so I made my own PowerPoint here. So what does a group leader hear? You sell a group, right? And you're working with them and you're trying to tell them, okay, I want you to buy this group. What do they hear? What do you think they hear? What? Yes, very good. They hear work. My own PowerPoint. See, how good is that? They hear it's work. Oh God, they're making me work. What do they envision when you start telling them how this will transpire? What do they envision? It's work, right? What do they not need more of? Work. So all they're hearing, seeing is work. The whole time you're talking, it's like, oh my God, they're giving me more to do, you know? And you don't want that experience to sour them. You want them to really like you, you hope. You want them to work for you. You want them to bring you more sales, right? Ideally. I had a group leader at the Cleveland Indians when I was there, and I used to sell her, it was like 3,000 tickets a year. And when I was leaving, I thought I had 8,000 clients because we did our own clients. So I had 8,000 clients. This was in the heyday. And of course, I didn't know them all. I was lucky if I knew a teeny bit of them. But she was one of them that was very special to me. So I called her and I said, I wanted to tell you I'm leaving. And she said, thank God. And I thought, wait, I thought we had a good relationship. And she said, well, we do. And that's why you get so enthused and you do such great things for me all year that it's really hard to say no to you. Every year I say, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And you just get so excited and I end up doing it and increasing. So she said, it'll be so great now that you're not there. I can just say no. I'm like, bet me, I'm going to put my best salesperson on you. So, you know, that's the kind of relationship you want with a group leader. You want them excited about you. You want them working for you. You want them helping you. And, you know, you have to ask yourself, seriously, how many of you sell to groups? How many of you really have group leaders that would go through walls for you? It's good if you do, but there's not everybody that does. So instead of telling them to do this, what if we said, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to fasten your seatbelts. I want you to sit back and relax and enjoy the ride. And those of you who belong to our Perks program, we're going to be giving you extra points today. We're going to be helping you along the way. And so this mileage is going to give you great things. What if we offered them something like that? And I don't mean a Perks program, but I mean, what if we, instead of work, we told them, we're going to take you on a great ride, but we're going to give you some stuff along the way. We're going to make it rewarding for you so that your work is appreciated and you are valued. I wrote an article on LinkedIn not too long ago about I appreciate you. That was said to me by a server. Blew me away. If we told our group leaders, I appreciate you, wow, those are powerful words, aren't they? And they're not very often used. So traditionally, when we sell a group, what do we offer them as a reward? Anybody? Tickets, comp tickets, just what they want, more tickets, right? It's like, oh, great, I get to come to another game and do this again. Okay. What else do we offer them? Anything?
Scoreboard greetings, on-field experiences.
Scoreboard greetings, on-field experiences, and your own personal sales representative, right? Yippee. Of course they're going to have one. They need one. How else would they buy them? Sometimes we give them a little gift, a little pin or something, right? But overall, what do? They're hearing blah, 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 blah. This stuff doesn't really mean that much to them. And so it means something to us. It's like, oh, this is a valued experience on the field. To them, it's like, that's nice. You know, I don't even like the sport. I'm just doing this because they made me the group leader. So what can we do that's actually different and really engages them? I used to head a volunteer sales club at the Cleveland Indians, and we were 30 strong, and we generated $2.5 million a year in revenue. And they strictly did it on perks. There was no money. It was just perks that we rewarded them for different levels. So if you hit one level, it's like, oh, you know, if you get us another group of 250, you could get this also. And so it became a badge of honor. They just wanted to keep climbing to see and collect all these great things. Consequently, they kept selling and selling and selling for us. So I've been thinking, why aren't we doing that with our group leaders? Why aren't we presenting that same thing in that same way? And with that, I started thinking, just off the top of my head, what we could put together. If you sell up to 99, some of your things should be branded, because what you want a group leader to do is walk around with your brand, right? Because that's promoting you. How did you get that? I got it from such and such team. They gave it to me. Why? Because I had a group of so many. Really? Gosh, I could get a group together like that. I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. So you want something branded, and you want something that's not attainable anywhere else as you get higher up. So I was thinking, and you don't have to do it in this order. I was just throwing this around in my brain, but if you sell up to 99, say you bring a group of up to 99, you get maybe a branded pad folio. You know, these nice pad folios like you have. Is yours branded with your team logo? Yeah. Those are badge of honor. I mean, it's kind of cool to have something by a team. Or something on your desk, something that's others are going to see and say, how did you get it? So you sell 100 to 249. Maybe you get a piece of rolling luggage. You can get them rather inexpensively when you're buying them in bulk, but they're branded. You go through the airport and you've got a Cleveland Indians branded item or a Cleveland Cavs branded item. That's kind of cool, right? How did you get that? I got it because I brought groups to them. So your lower levels, I would say, get something that's branded, but that's unique that others aren't getting, but also something that they're going to use, something that they're going to have with them all the time that they're going to use, that they're actually promoting for you. Then you get up to the 249, say to 499. This is where, how many of you sell groups of 500 a lot? How many would like to sell groups of 500 a lot? Okay, so this is where you start getting up to some cool things. It can be as simple as, and I've had it happen before, a personalized autograph picture. So maybe a player personalizes it for them. Maybe the coach, I've had this done before, the coach gives them an honorary contract. I've had the GM write up contracts for me from different teams where it's an honorary contract, and you go down to the dugout and you receive it from the GM prior to the game, which is kind of cool. Get your picture taken, that's kind of cool, right? That's a unique experience that's not normally one of your experiences that you have. You get up to 500 to say 749. Now you're more or less specializing them. This is maybe a branded group jacket, an MVP jacket, something that they're not going to buy in the team shop. It's customized only for group leaders that they're going to wear with pride. Something that's a little more unique. You get up to 1,000 to 750 to 1,999. This is where it starts coming in with these unique perks. At some level, I strongly encourage you to get a group gift that is a watch. Now, Jostens was taken over by somebody, I don't remember the name of the company, but there's watches that you can get made, and they cost around $75 for a watch. But if they're selling 1,000 group tickets, I think they're worth it, or whatever level you pick. But they get a watch, and you can put a personal logo in, so you can put whatever logo you want on the watch, which is cool. And then every year thereafter, if they bring you that amount of people, they get a small diamond chip in it. You just send it back to the company, and the diamond chip costs you like $120. But it's a diamond chip. They are that group leader that does not want to not have all 4 diamonds. And so they're going to keep coming back to you because they want their watch filled. And I've had that done with watches. I've had rings made. And rings, you can do up to 10 little teeny diamond chips. But you don't want to be that person that does not get that next level. And with that level, you also honor them on field. So it's a day in which you bring all the group leaders together that have hit that level, and you present them pregame with their watches or with their rings or whatever, and you present them on field. They get their name up, they're getting pictures taken, you know, you're emailing the picture back to them. I usually frame them and send them out to them. But now all of a sudden, it's like, it's a badge of pride, and it's also something that I'm not going to be that person, not down on the field next year and getting my next one. I don't want to get lagged behind. You know, and if you want to put them all in yourself, go for it, but I don't think anybody wants to buy their own diamonds, you know. So that's another level that's kind of unique. From there, 1,000 to 1,499, and these are cumulative. You can do a trip. That's where the trips come in. That's what's starting to get exciting. So if you're not doing, depending on where your sales fall, if you do a lot of 1,000 already, then you can bump that up. But if you're not doing a lot of 1,000 already, this is a level that you could look at to motivate people. You do a trip and meet the manager, you know, and it can be a small trip. It doesn't have to be a big trip. This one can be a smaller level trip, closer by, maybe a bus trip if you don't want to do a plane trip. It can be, you know, if you're a major league team, it can be a trip, you know, if you're Cleveland to Chicago, a short trip. Something like that, just for and 2 overnights, you know, a game, couple games, dinner, kind of cool, right? Really, doesn't that show you value and appreciation for you and a guest? That's a lot of value and a lot of appreciation. Then you get up to 1,500, 1,999. You can be a team captain. Now you get a letter from the owner or a letter from the president. You actually get a meet and greet and lunch with the president or lunch with the owner. And you put these people together, so it's not just one-on-one, that's awkward. But you put them together, and that way you can all work together, and you're there also. You get a suite, maybe 4 suite tickets for the game afterwards. Or you're in the suite, the president and owner comes in to congratulate you. You know, you get your picture taken with them. You get a jersey with your name on it. Now you're getting more recognition. It's a badge of honor. 2,000, 2,499, maybe this is where you take a longer trip away. I used to do spring training trips, and then we do a smaller trip, and then we do a longer trip. Longer trip can be, if you're East Coast, you go West Coast, you know? I mean, make it a real trip. And then, you know, from there you can go up. You can do fantastic packs. You all have sponsors, right? Sponsors want to get their stuff out. Talk to your sponsors and ask them, can we put together a fantastic pack for our top group leaders that includes all of your giveaways, your little gimmies, whether it's mustard, ketchup, you know, whatever your sponsors have, and put it all together. Not a free car, that would be nice, but maybe a discount on a lease or something. But put this stuff together for them. And this shows value to the sponsor. It also shows value to your group leader. My point is with this, there are 3 things that you should have as goals that you're working with in rewarding your group leader. The first, you have to create a reward that is worth wanting. It has to be something that they want. So when you're putting together your levels, think of something that they might want. And you know what? Sit down and pull a group of your group leaders together and ask them what they want. You know, what would really excite you? What would make you want to do more? The second goal is to create something that can be cumulative and motivating. So you're going to collect these as you go along, and it's going to be really motivating to you, to them. And the third one is so that the goal is to inspire and motivate them to hit the highest level. Now, I've had people that have told me, and these volunteers, you know, which is no different than a group leader, I can't sell, and I really can't sell. I can't get that much out. You know, okay, you know, let me work with you. Here's the organization that you run. Here's how we can do it. And then when they get there, it's like, you know, this wasn't that hard. What else do you belong to? What else do you belong to? What do your kids belong to? Where do they go to school? Now you start asking all these questions that you should be asking of a group leader, right? To get them to help you with more. But now they have a reason to, because now, you know what? If you can just come up with another 250, if we could put your kids' school together, heck, you could be going on a trip. Really? Yeah. That's kind of cool. Now you're just getting them excited, and you're moving them up, and their brain starts working, well, heck, I know this group, or heck, I know that. They're working for you, which is where you want to get them, right? Why should you do all the work, right? You don't have to think of every group. Are we awake? Yes, we're awake, right? Okay. I know, it's been a long day. I'm really huge on an awards ceremony at the end of the year. And if you don't do it for yourselves, I mean, all sales departments should have an awards ceremony, Academy Awards, whatever. But if you don't, you really should have one for group leaders. And you should invite all your group leaders down, and you should invite a guest. They can bring a guest. Even if you're giving them hot dogs and pop. You can tell them from Ohio, hot dogs and pop. Whatever you give them, or, if you really got lots of money, you can give a full-fledged dinner. But the point is, you want to show them they're appreciated. Now, you can go and get medals, just like the Academy Awards, the top group sellers, Rookie of the Year. You can come up with all kinds of different things. There's pewter medals you can buy. They cost all of like $350, and they can be engraved on the back, and the engraving's included, and they're sports specific, and they're really, really cool. And they come with the lanyard that's really, it looks like an Olympic medal. They're huge. They're really nice. I've had people frame them because they get so excited about it. That's a badge of honor. And when you're in front of a lot of people, and you look around, you're thinking, wow, they sell a lot of groups or a lot of people, and you're called up because you're given an award, that's pretty impressive. So they're going to jump through hoops for you to do more. And those other people sitting there are going to say, I want that award next year. I want to go up front. And so they're going to do more. And now you have people, no different than a volunteer sales team, you have people working for you, which is kind of cool. I encourage focusing on tickets, not on the revenue. So I know a lot of teams focus on the revenue according to if a group leader gets an award or whatever. I focus more on the tickets. And the reason I do that is because I don't ever want people coming back saying, I bring you in X number of dollars a year and you don't do much for me. So I view it more as the tickets. And what I like to do with it is have blank pictures of the sketches of the entire arena or baseball field or football field or whatever you have. And I color it in so that when we have the awards banquet, sitting right at their table, they're colored in as to what impact they made. If they brought in 2,000 tickets, I color in 2,000 seats. They look at that and it's like, wow, I did a good job. Yeah, you did. That's impressive to them to be able to see what they did and to be able to visualize what it meant to the arena itself or to the park itself. I think it's important to brainstorm with your team. You need to sit down and brainstorm with your team as to what kind of ideas you can come up with for perks. You need to present this to your leadership. It's like we've got to come up with different ways. What we're doing isn't working as well as we'd like. And we're not getting to where we need to be, and we still keep trying over and over and over to do what we did 10 years ago. It's 10 years later. So we need to come up with something different. So sit down and brainstorm with your team. I also believe another idea is a group leader one-on-one night. So before you even start your season, how many of you are in season right now? Okay, so before the season ends, you should be having prospects for next year, right? That's how you get to large, hopefully. You're already prospecting. So all these prospects, you should bring them together, and right when the season ends, say along about, if your season ends in September and October, have a group leader one-on-one. And everybody in your department should take part in this. And they should each have a role. One will talk about food and beverage additions to their group ticket. One will talk about experiences for upselling, club seats, groups and clubs, different stuff. Everybody should have some sort of role. What I've found is if you invite your current group leaders and then your prospects, and you start presenting this, and then someone starts talking about sales and how to get the word out and how to get your groups to more, get them higher, you stop talking and they start interacting. It's amazing how current group leaders will start advising and helping people that are just trying to figure out, it's my first group, I have no clue what I'm doing. They start helping them. They become friends, and the next thing you know, they're actually working together for you to get better. So I strongly encourage, if you don't do a group leader one-on-one night, you should. I think it's just a good touch. It's an added value for the group leaders. I also strongly feel you should do a separate one that's a nonprofit workshop. Nonprofit workshops can be very beneficial. We did one in Atlanta with the WNBA team there, and they are bouncing off the walls right now selling nonprofits. And, a lot of you saying nonprofits don't want to buy, we just send out the link, it doesn't work. It can work, believe me. Have a nonprofit workshop. We can talk about it later because I know we don't have too much time, but we can talk about it. Nonprofit workshops, when you sit there and advise them that you want to win for both of you, it's not just about the usual. What do you usually tell nonprofits? You can use this as a fundraiser, and you can earn money. And all you have to do is send a link out and sell tickets, right? That says I have to work. And you know what? Nonprofits, I feel for them because they do a couple galas a year, they do a couple things. They're exhausted. They're small, they're mighty, and they just look at you like, oh my God, you want me to do more work? So we need to work with them. We need to tell them how we're going to partner together, what we can do that's unique, and we need to start thinking unique. But if they're rewarded, like we talked about some of these rewards, that's a real incentive for them. Not only are they raising money for their nonprofit, but they get something for all the extra work they're doing. That's huge. I call it a Let's Partner workshop is what I call it. Appreciation in the off season. Group leaders need to be appreciated in the off season, not just during season. I think it's really sad that a lot of what we do is we sell our group, we go visit them, oh, that was great, and then we send them an invoice. Isn't that what we do? That's about the sum of it. That's what we do. Well, it's no wonder they don't get any bigger, or sometimes they don't come back. So we need to appreciate them in the off season. This is a good time for sponsorship. Good idea for sponsorship to step up. You want to give extra added value to your sponsors? Look at north, south, east, and west from your arena, your facility. Who are your strongest sponsors, north, south, east, and west? Do they have a facility? Car dealerships are great for this, where you could host an event for your group leaders in the off season. Just say, I appreciate you. Now, you look like a hero. The sponsor loves you because they're bringing somebody new. And also the group leaders from that area are looking at it like, God, they're coming to me. They really like me. They appreciate me. And you tell them, you know what? Bring somebody else that might be interested in doing a group with us. Now all of a sudden you have an event going on in the off season. You're showing them appreciation. You're not just sending them an invoice, right? And what I found, we did this, I've done this with a couple teams, and the one, they used a car dealership for it was like east and west, and the car dealerships both offered a special lease price that was unbelievable for those group leaders, and the car dealership was ecstatic. I told them we'd bring pizza and pop because we weren't expensive. We bring pizza and pop, and the car dealership said, no, we'll bring appetizers and wine. I'm like, go for it. So they did. And of course, when people have wine or beer, they tend to spend money. So car dealership was not stupid. So they had a really special lease offer. And they said that by the time they got done, it was good for the end of the week. They had signed on like 11 new people for leases, which was huge for them. So now you're giving added value to the sponsor. You're giving added value to your group leader. And it's a win for everybody, right? So off-season is extremely important, if not as important as in-season. And then social media. Social media in the off-season and in-season is huge. If you are out there and you're on social media and you take a picture of that group really having a great time, and you're posting it throughout in-season, off-season, they're looking for this kind of stuff. This is exciting to them. LinkedIn, a lot of times we tend to post stuff like, have a group outing night with so-and-so. I cringe. LinkedIn's not meant to sell because you have a whole universe. That's not the point. It's branding. If you can brand a picture of your group having an amazing time, but don't sell it and just say, here's our, Girl Scouts really having a great time at such and such a field. We've had a ball with them, period. You're not saying bring your Girl Scout group, but that's sending a message to everybody. You have just branded it. So these pictures can be huge, but get them on social media too. I think it's really important. We're almost done, and before I run into anything else, does anybody have any questions or any comments or ideas to share? Are we awake? Yes. Yes.
When you do the road trips, is there any insurance concerns or issues?
No, but what we do is, no, I've never used, that's a good point. I've never used insurance. Never have. The bus usually has, if it's a bus, the plane. What we do though is always include a dinner. Always include some sort of get together, either with the team or with a team coach or something, so that they have some. I always go with them. You always have one of your people go with them to monitor, to make sure everything is done together. So they can't sign off and go off on their own. It's always an inclusive trip. It's all together. Who else? Anybody else? Yes.
How many group leaders do you feel you need to have in order to do an event? If you do an event and you have 5 people around, usually
Oh, that's a wonderful question. That's a whole nother workshop. I'm a huge fan of multiple group leaders. So if you have, say you're working with autism, you should not have autism speaks, because autism does not speak to the other autism group. By the way, they don't get along. But you should have maybe 5 to 8 group leaders. Somebody's going to get run over by a bus, and you're going to lose somebody along the way. And all that momentum is going to go down the drain. So if you have 5 to 8 group leaders, and you sit there to start with, and you say, look, here's an idea I have. You guys tell me, what do you think? You already gave them an off-the-wall idea. They know you're creative. And so now you're asking them, what do you think you could do that would get everybody out? Once they start giving you ideas, you're golden, because you know they're engaged, you know they get it, and they're not going to let their idea fail. So you're golden. You're going to get those numbers up. Yeah? We have to partner with them, and it's not just a matter of giving them a link. Links drive me up a wall, because you send it out, I did my job, what's happening, nothing's coming. I tell them, and I've done this, I've worked with a lot of teams and had them do it, I have them actually write their copy for them, so that every week a different fun thing goes out. We only have a few seconds. For instance, I had an insurance company that had 500 employees, and they had 1,500 employees, and they were going to have their admin sing the national anthem, and everybody loved Jane. She had a great name, it was Jane. Everybody loved Jane. So they thought, everybody will come to this. So there's Jane, they send it out, and they had like 20 tickets sold, and they were devastated. So I said, let me write your copy. So every week it was See Jane. See Jane, and I had a picture transposed, Jane with Mick Jagger at the Eiffel Tower. See Jane with Mick Jagger as she's practicing singing the national anthem with Mick Jagger, And then there was a picture of her at Kmart. See Jane at Kmart as she picks her attire to sing the national anthem. And we had a lot of fun with it. Every week they sent it out. They had another 100, 150 tickets sold. So our job, especially with nonprofits, is to help them and take that weight off of them and help them by writing their copy, by preparing their Twitter or their social media feed for them. If we can do that, they're going to love us, because that takes that weight off of them, and they're kind of drained. They don't have that brain anymore. They've done a lot already, and it shows we truly partner with them.